Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes smack talk and home run. Every Sunday night, the sports nerds join forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitudes that are known in Nerd Nation as the Rampart. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Wright, along with the train behind me, and along with my co-host, Mr. Elliot Big E Lamba, Local Mafia lifetime member, Mr. John G. Olson, and Ken, how about them Cowboys, Koslow? We will discuss the week that was in the world of sports. We are live each and every Sunday night on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and on the blockchain for courtesy of Vim.tv. If you missed the live broadcast, you can watch the replays on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via PD. Gentlemen, happy end of June. How y'all doing? Good to see you.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, John.
Hi, Scott.
Hiya, boys.
Hi, Elliot. Hi, Ken.
Hi, John.
We're full of it tonight. I can tell. This is going to be one of those legendary episodes.
It is going to be.
Not give a shit and go. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. Anthony, Mr. Anthony P. Slate coming to us from Twitch. Yeah, Anthony,
We're thrilled, Anthony.
If I were any more excited, I could not stand it.
Yeah, it is the dog days of little June to July when nothing's really going on except baseball, but that's okay.
Hey, in fun news, they announced the WNBA All-Stars today. I didn't even think their season started, but apparently they've already named the All-Stars.
The All-Star break, dude.
Yeah.
Been going for about 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Oh, shows how much I know.
We don't talk much WNBA here. Every time I bring it up, you're like, oh, God, what are you doing?
No, I don't know anything about it, dude. That's the thing.
How about those
Where's
Los
Cheryl
Angeles?
Scoop?
How about those Los Angeles Angels going into Coors Field and kicking the crap out of Colorado?
What they had?
25-1?
25-1.
25-1.
And if you want to throw a solo home run in the 8th inning, it would have been 25-0.
Yeah.
Well, and if you want to piggyback on that, Florida kicked the shit out of LSU in the College World Series today, too. It was like 24-0 or something like that.
Really?
Yes, 24-4 was the final. Florida over LSU.
24-4?
Yes. In the
Wow.
College World Series. Now that was game 2, so they're going to have a game 3 because LSU won.
Winner take all tomorrow night.
Florida won LSU won the first game, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So basically, no matter what the frickin' score was, they're still tied 1-1.
Yes,
Right. That's why baseball
Marbles,
scores can
all
be a
marbles.
little lopsided at times, right?
Deceptive.
Yeah,
as well.
it is deceptive. Yeah,
It's like it doesn't matter if you win by 1 run or 20. It still counts as
it's a dub or an L.
Win.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it.
Yeah. A big
Oh,
shout out
yeah.
to Dave in Threadcast for mentioning that the Rockies got embarrassed. That was definitely one of the comments
The
already.
Rockies have been embarrassed for a long time.
Yeah. At home, no doubt, too.
Oh my
That was
god!
Dave.
Well, wouldn't that be the place to launch shit? Is
No
it
kidding. Angels didn't have any problem with it.
That's the launch pad out there, man.
Scored 13 runs in the 4th inning, 3rd or 4th inning.
Oh, madness. So, Scott,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Good.
Just to let you know that I did post this on Leo Threads.
Yeah.
So there's an official Threadcast for it, and there's already questions coming in. We have some hot topics.
I saw one.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second.
Let's hear them.
There's a gem from Forex Broker down in Australia about the Chicago Blackhawks.
How long it's going to take for them to win with Bedard?
Yes, but then read his next.
I got to figure this thing out.
Yeah. He also says also F Chicago. That's all. I'll hang up and listen now. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. How long do you think it'll take Chicago to actually win with Connor Bedard? Yeah. First of all, we all
The
agree.
next
Connor
time they win
Bedard.
the President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Since they're the last one to win a cup with it.
Dude, I don't know, man. I mean, look, I'm part of a franchise. I have a say in it. But my favorite team is the Oilers.
You are loyalist to a franchise.
I'm a loyalist. I'm loyal to the oil. So we had basically 2 franchise players on our team for the past 8 years, 6, 7 years. You need more than just one guy. It's pretty evident, especially hockey is probably it's up there with football for a team game. Basketball, you can win with 3 guys and then a couple scrubs off the bench. Baseball, sometimes you don't even know the guy who's battling 8th or 9th.
Right.
But hockey and football, I think, are the truest in North American sports. That is, team sports.
Yeah.
So hockey, you need all 4 lines. You need
Right.
all 3 defensive pairings.
Yes.
You need 2 really good goaltenders.
Yes.
So the piece is there. Connor Bedard apparently is the phenom. He's the next Connor McDavid, the next Wayne Gretzky.
But what does Chicago have around him? That's the question.
They don't have anything because they've traded everything away and they got rid of salary they dumped. So it's going to take time. It's going to build up. So,
could they be the next Edmonton Oilers of the NHL as far as close but no cigar? Not to bash your Oilers, John, but you got to admit
okay.
It is.
We'll always have the 80s. Sir.
Correct.
We'll always have.
You always
You
you'll always have Wayne Gretzky. So
You can't take, just like you can't take away the 4 cups from the Islanders. Sorry.
Exactly. Can't do it. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't. That's a really good question. I'd say they're a good 5 years at least.
I was thinking 5 years too, at least.
Least from being contenders.
Yeah, provided they got a
on-
good front office, they can get guys around him because. The goaltending in Edmonton this year was really bad.
Well, our goalie is up for the Calder Trophy tomorrow night. I mean, Stuart Skinner had a fantastic regular season,
but he fell apart in the playoffs.
Well, it was it's hockey's weird with goalies in the playoffs because it's like when you catch a hot streak, you're on. Who was Aiden Hill?
Right.
That's the thing. That's the thing that people don't understand. Okay, and they refuse to remember and acknowledge is that what you do during the regular season don't mean shit when it comes to the playoffs. Just ask the Boston Bruins.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and the Lightning a few years ago too,
or the Tampa Bay Lightning. I was waiting for that.
Off season, and then
Can't forget those.
You slump. You know what I'm saying? It just happens that way. Plain and simple. It just happens that way. You can't, and that stands true for just about anything. It's not, and that's why I always go back to the old adage: it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Well, John, you'll be happy to know that I did vote for Connor McDavid as the NHL Player of the Year. I just want to let you know that on the SBC.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he had an unbelievable season. I mean, it was definitely he's going to win the Art Ross. He's probably going to win the Ted Lindsay. I don't see why he wouldn't win the Hart. I mean, so it's crazy, man. It's the dude. And big shout out to Connor, man. He proposed to his longtime girlfriend yesterday.
Cool, good for him.
Yes, so there will be, and I don't know if you remember the last time a phenom in Edmonton got married. They shut down the entire city for Wayne Gretzky's wedding back in the 80s. It was astronomical. So that'll probably happen again for Connor. But yeah, big shout out to him, man. Young kid, got his life ahead of him.
Wayne and Janet Jones.
Janet Jones, yes, sir. Yep. So it's cool, man.
And their daughter is actually dating a PGA Tour guy.
What's
Dustin
his name?
Johnson.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dating or aren't they married?
They're married.
They're married. Yeah,
they're married.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm excited for this season coming up, man. I think the awards are cool, but I'm sure Connor and Leon, when Leon won, the awards a couple years ago, they'd trade all of those for a Stanley Cup, man. They don't care.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody would.
The big drama around Edmonton is they're up for, potential next summer, and then after that, both of their contracts are expiring. So everyone's like, "Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to lose Connor and Leon." It's like, no, think about it. Really think about it. First of all, these two are like best friends. Jenny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. They know their best chance to win anything is together and on this team. So they would have to go to another team, and another team would have to sign both of them. Can it happen? Sure. Welcome to Toronto. You know, I mean, the Leafs got more money.
Not likely.
But it's not going to happen, right? I think they're Oilers for life. I think they'll probably re-sign they might even re-up their contract before the season even starts. And I mean, that's awesome. I mean, you know, I can't wait to see it.
Well, and plus Connor and Draisaitl, they both like being in Edmonton anyway. They like being there.
They do. Yeah.
They're gods in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy. They have their number. Okay, the birds. Can I shoot the birds? Do you guys mind if I shoot the birds?
If you got a BB gun, I don't mind, John. Yeah,
can I shoot the birds, Tita? Can I shoot them? My wife said sure.
Just a quick rewind.
You got a BB gun, John? You can help them with a BB gun?
Oh, they're entertaining, all right.
That way you don't kill them.
Okay. Colorado beat the Angels today 4-3. Guess what they got?
A win.
A win. It was 25-1, but they got the same thing the Angels got yesterday. A win.
It's crazy.
Hey, I got a kind of scenario question for you.
Oh boy,
we're talking about the President's Trophy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate for a second. All right, say you have two teams. We'll say Edmonton and Las Vegas going head to head, neck and neck, for the top two teams in the league for the President's Trophy, coming down to the last 2 weeks. Okay, given the history of what has happened in the past, do you tank to keep it from winning the President's Trophy?
Stay second? Are you willing to lose to lock up second place?
Yeah. Do you want to lose on purpose to keep from winning the President's Trophy? Just to avoid that jinx?
The way it's been happening, man. Don't forget there was an 86-year jinx that went on over between the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Before the Red Sox won another World Series. You know what I'm saying? So
and we won that World Series as a wild card.
I think the first one to do it, right?
I cannot swear to that.
Okay.
It may have happened before. I think maybe the Angels did in 2002.
2002 against the Giants.
Yeah. I think they did. Yeah.
All right. So the Red Sox did it, 2 years later?
Mm-hmm. Yep. But it's just food for thought. I mean, given the history, now going, well, do we really want this President's Trophy?
Well, notice how like nowadays wild cards are doing good when they get into the postseason. You know what I'm saying?
It is definitely the hottest team.
8 seeds are doing good getting into the finals and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they get Miami this year, right?
I was doing a little bit of research last night or just early this morning.
How many points did Florida finish behind Boston? Like 40 something?
A lot. Dozens, 20,
at least 20.
It was 43 actually. It was 135 to 92.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
43 points.
Now, is that a record?
It's got to be close to one.
Proof positive the regular season doesn't mean shit and then when the playoffs start, everybody is 0-0 and it's on.
I think Elliott's right.
Same thing happened in the NBA when the Heat beat the Bucks and then they beat the Pistons.
The only sport I think where the regular season matters is
NFL.
Yeah.
NFL. Because what happens during the season can directly impact what happens.
Well, and not only that, but because the NFL only has 18 games in a season now, or 17 games in a season.
17.
Okay. That makes each win just like college football. Each game means something.
Each game means something.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're playing 82 and 152, that don't mean
there are exceptions to the rule, specifically the New York Giants, who went on a run at the end of the season, and as well as Pittsburgh when they won the Super Bowl in Detroit, they had to win all their games on the road. They were a wild card. They were a division winner.
And why was that? because they had a strong finish.
Well, they had momentum going into the playoffs. They had a strong finish.
And they
going
had
into the
Jerome
playoffs.
Bettis.
You know,
That too.
well, to be honest, John, Bettis had very little to do with Pittsburgh that year. He was,
Look at the Browns fan critiquing the Steelers. Heaven forbid.
Throwing Pittsburgh shade.
I know.
Who was the last team to have the best record in the NFL and lose in the first round? I can't remember one doing anything lately.
not me either. I can't
I
recall.
know Minnesota did it a few years back when they were 15-1.
Well,
they
didn't
lost the
lose in
championship
first round.
game.
That was
They
divisional.
lost
to Atlanta.
Didn't they lose to New Orleans that year?
No, it was
No,
Atlanta.
they lost to Atlanta in the
Atlanta, yeah.
NFC Championship game.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that because the missed kick
Yeah.
by
Right.
Who hadn't missed a kick all year?
Right.
yeah
Morton
That was
Anderson, right?
exciting.
Morton Anderson.
Oh,
Thank you,
Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson. There you go. Wow.
But yeah, that was the last time that they were 15-1 going to the playoffs, and they lost the divisional round to Atlanta, which had been a wild card team. So
No, it wasn't the divisional round. It was the NFC Championship game.
yes, correct. I'm sorry, Ken. You're right. Yes.
That one got Atlanta to the Super Bowl.
As far as
Yeah,
losing,
matched by Denver.
well, first of all, the number one seed will never lose in the first round because they always get a bye.
yeah.
Right. I'm
So-
talking about more or less their first game. Of course, they have all their games at home. If they,
I don't remember, Ken. I can't think off the top of my head.
I can't remember one
losing their first playoff game, because it would always be a divisional round game. It would not be a wild card; it'd be a divisional round. But I don't recall the last time. I don't.
Where are you, Brett Murphy? We need you.
Oh, yes, Brett, a
Our
walking
Gopher.
encyclopedia.
But
So let's see what's going on. Let's start with the NFL.
so let's go NBA draft. Let's go NBA draft, guys.
Okay, so that's a question from Taskmaster in Threadcast. He wants to know who was the big winner of the draft.
Well,
of the
San
draft.
Antonio number one.
But okay, like, dude, this is the
I
thing,
wouldn't go
man.
that far.
Dude, like, just they're already calling this guy the top 10 NBA talent, like already.
Right.
Like, the dude is
Not
he's this thick.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
literally.
Yeah.
I can see his legs snapping in the first
Yeah,
attempt at a layup.
that's always. I mean, that's what happened with
Greg Oden.
Greg
Oden when he was drafted by
But Greg Oden wasn't
You know
a toothpick.
You know what?
No,
This
he was
kid is something different.
Close.
This kid is something different. I've been watching a lot of his tape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude,
It's
it's
something different
He's unbelievable.
because
Brett,
the
listening
boy-
but driving. Don't text and drive, Brett. Don't do it. Anyway, go ahead.
he can do things that not all big men can do.
What is he? 7'5"? They said.
7'5".
yeah.
I mean,
7'5".
and he's got game like a point. He plays like a point guard.
Dude, he shoots one-legged running 3-point shots.
Yes.
Okay.
Dirk.
Dude, did you see
Pull
the
up
picture
and
of him
shoot.
with all the San Antonio guys? Like he made Tim Duncan and David Robinson look like point guards.
I know.
Mhm.
I know, right?
Like he's huge.
Did you see him standing next to Adam Silver? Adam Silver is 6'3". He towered over Adam Silver.
He's got an
Crazy,
8-foot wingspan, dude.
Yeah. He's a freak. He is a
I don't
total French.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
but
and his wingspan covers each end of the lane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
this
he
guy
doesn't-
can
I
literally
guess-
do this and have the whole lane blocked.
Yeah. Let me tell you, this kid needs to bulk up.
And
Okay.
he will.
He
the
needs to bulk
NBA
up.
isn't this interior ground and pound game anymore.
No, it's not the
It's
90s.
more of a
John. I agree
finesse
with you on
shooting
that.
game.
Right.
So he
And I'm
doesn't
sorry,
need to-
but all he needs to do is get on his tiptoes to dunk.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
completely bulk him up, but if he gets a little bit bigger,
Here's why.
in
Here's
the
why-
top and
why-
everything,
Did
he's
you
going to
see
be
a picture of
unstoppable.
him and with his hand on the baseball? When
Yeah,
he
it
took the
looks
first
like, it
pitch
looks
out?
like a ping pong ball in his hand.
Yes, it looked like a golf ball.
You know.
Last person I saw do that was Andre the Giant.
But here's the thing, and here's another difference for Wembanyama is he's going into. He was probably the best. It was the best situation for him to wind up with the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, yeah, because he's being coached under Popovich, and he's one of the
Popovich,
Yeah.
and not only that, but he's being he's being mentored by Robinson, Duncan,
Tim
Ginobili,
Duncan,
Parker.
Tony
And I
Parker,
even saw him in a picture with Sean Elliott the other day.
Tony Parker.
Hey, just sorry to. There's massive storms coming through right now, so that's why.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'll get you.
Yay, Alberta!
Thank you, Elon
Tornadoes
Musk.
everywhere! Yay!
Yes.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
I will never forget the tornado that ran through Edmonton.
Yeah,
That
man.
was unreal.
Black Friday, man. Yeah. It's like there's only been two
EF5.
F5. It was only two F5s in Canadian history.
Yeah, that
One
was
in
one of them.
Eli, Manitoba, and then the one in. So
Yeah,
there was
Also
9 tornadoes
80
here one day last week, man.
Clark,
That was 87?
86, 87, yeah.
86,
around there.
87? Okay.
Yeah. Mid to late 80s. Yeah.
well, to be honest, Clarky, football playoffs are one and done as opposed to other sports where they're best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, whatever.
One and done is football, right? Football's the
One
only
and
one.
done is football.
So yeah, I mean, it does make a difference in the regular season because
Yes.
home field advantage means a lot. You only
Yes,
get
it does.
one game.
Yeah.
You know, I get that, which is probably why there was a question the other day. Which is the hardest of the 4 trophies to win?
Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
Hands
Lord
down.
Stanley.
Hands
Hands down.
People made arguments for the other that made sense. As far as the percentage of teams that make the playoffs in each league. Okay, for instance, if that's the case, then baseball is the hardest to win. Because
I still think
only
Stanley
40% of the teams in
Baseball is nowhere near as physical as hockey is, and it's
I'm not
16
saying
first
about
one to 16
physicality.
wins.
If you've got less teams making it, then that's going to be harder for a lot of teams to win. Okay, the more teams that make it, the better chance other teams have to win. So I mean, there could be argument made all over the place. Stanley Cup's not easy to win. Okay, especially if you have the best record. All right, but I mean, I don't think I just, to me, hockey, I think, and baseball, I think, are the hardest ones to win. And that's because of the longevity of baseball.
Right.
162 fucking games. Okay, that's a lot of season.
What are you going to say to Brett, John?
Well, this is kind of going back to the NBA stuff about who won the draft. But Brett wants to know, get on your soapbox. Everyone I work with is talking about how this current projected starting lineup for the Warriors is so great. My argument was that Toronto can hang, if not could beat them. Now?
Right now?
No, Toronto hasn't.
No.
No, not
Brett,
now.
Not right now.
Pull over and drop the pipe, yo.
Right.
Pull over and put the pipe
Warriors by a
I
billion.
mean, especially if
Now it's CP3 playing point.
Let's just bring this up. Chris Paul was traded to the Warriors. Okay.
Well, you know what Chris Paul's role is going to be?
Leader.
Second team.
But
ain't nobody taking away Steph Curry as the leader.
But he's going to be a veteran presence.
Steph's going over to 2 guard.
Here's the thing with Paul, okay, and history has a lot to do with this. Recent history, okay, with him, all right, is that they're going to have to really concentrate on shaving down some of his minutes per game in order to try to keep him healthy for when the postseason comes around. And like I said, one of the biggest problems that the Warriors had this year is that when the front line came out, there was nobody to lead the second team. Jordan Poole is not that guy.
And they traded,
they traded him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bullets got the Bullets,
and that's why they got rid of Jordan.
He got Poole
Bullets
in the trade.
Right? Who would you rather have run your second team, Jordan Poole or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul, absolutely.
Of course.
Chris Paul.
And I think that's where they're going to use him the most. He's probably going to come off the bench because I don't think he's going to break into the starting lineup.
All right, but does Draymond Green re-sign with
He'll resign. He'll
Really?
resign. That's
No,
why
they
they
don't
got
need him
rid of
anymore.
Poole. That's why
They don't need Draymond Green anymore.
Contract, so that they can make room for Draymond Green.
So I know Green wants to stay in San Francisco, and I know that the Warriors want him to come back.
Look, Poole's contract was supposed to kick in. His extension was supposed to kick in this year.
Okay.
That's $140 million on their payroll that they just got rid of. Chris Paul, he's going to come for peanuts because of, again, his recent inability to stay healthy and his age.
You got to remember, he's 38.
38.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
he's the same age as LeBron.
Right. And he would be smart. I mean, Golden State would be smart to use him more off the bench playing with the second team.
Yeah.
Because their first team's legit.
Provided Draymond re-signs with the war with
I think
Golden
he will.
State.
I think he will. I think they were banking on the fact that if they get rid of Poole, especially since the fact that Poole and Draymond didn't get along either.
Yeah, they didn't like each other. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The
So
fight.
they just basically had Draymond, look, we got rid of the motherfucker. We got enough money now to pay you. Let's go. Just saying.
Well, Chris Paul adds another dimension to that Warriors team, and
He will.
everybody in the West is now trying to gear up and try to beat to where they can compete against the Nuggets.
But here's the problem with Chris Paul playing with the Warriors, is that the Warriors like playing up tempo. Chris Paul likes to play slow down.
Right.
Okay, that ain't gonna mix well with the first team. Okay, he might be able to slow it down and control the pace when the second team is on the floor, but that first team looks to run and gun all the time.
Well, look at it this way. 10 years ago when he was 28, he could have
Maybe
gone
10
up and
years
down.
ago,
Yeah.
yeah.
But 38.
Chris Paul isn't like a spring chicken anymore.
Right.
Like, you forget
Well,
how
he's
long
not-
he's been in the league.
He's not hobbling, but he's not as fast as he used to be.
I think.
Hmm.
But look, like I said, he plays the entire regular season, max minutes the entire way, and then when he gets to the playoffs, he pulls a hamstring or he does this or does that. Why? Because he's not a spring chicken, like you said. Okay? We all us old people need rest every now and then.
Right.
You know? We can't survive without it. And I think Chris Paul has his best chance to win a ring now.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Got a doubt.
And I knew he wasn't going to stay in Washington very long because that just wasn't in the cards. Okay. So.
Last one to leave Washington and turn out the lights. Bradley Beal's already gone.
Porzingis is already gone. Is it Porzingis that's gone to the?
Porzingis is going to Boston.
To the Celtics, yeah.
Yeah,
Where did Bradley Beal go?
The Bradley Beal to
the Suns.
Phoenix. That hurt me.
What,
Just because
Bradley Beal to the Suns?
I always had dreams of Bradley Beal going to Toronto, like forever.
Where did Bradley Beal go?
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
That's a new big
Phoenix,
dream.
sorry.
Evan Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal. Like this goes back to my whole point about like you don't need an entire team to win in the NBA. Like you need a decent bench and like some stats.
And now it looks like there's a possible three-team trade talk going on where they're actually going to wind up getting rid of DeAndre Ayton.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
his
again,
contract,
Derrick Rose.
$32 million, dude. They gotta
Derrick
get rid
Rose
of that guy.
is no longer with the Knicks, so they brought it up.
He's going back to Chicago.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he'll finish off.
Write
in
it down.
Chicago.
Yep.
He's going back to the Bulls so he can retire in Chicago.
Sweet home Chicago.
Okay, especially if they're going to lose what's his name, Zach LaVine.
Well, and
They have to
also
bring somebody in.
Chicago's already said that Ball is going to be out next season. He probably won't come
Oh
back.
yeah, well that
Yeah.
even that news itself.
Yeah.
Makes it, you know, makes
Do
it
you remember
pretty.
his dad?
Yes.
That seems so
You
long
realize-
ago.
You realize he hasn't played in a year and a half?
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy,
Mm.
man. Poor
I
kid.
don't know.
But
I'll see you.
what do you guys know about Grady Dick? What do you know about this guy? He's
He wears
apparently a
flashy
rapper.
clothes. He wears
He
flashy
loves his
clothes.
Elton John look. What do you guys know about this? Apparently, he's
He's an
very
internet
athletic,
sensation, but he's
apparently.
never played high school or college basketball, so I don't know.
Yeah.
They must have had to provide him a pretty large extension cord to keep that suit lit up.
Yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to play at Kansas?
He played Kansas, didn't he?
I think the announcers are going to have a field day, or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that name is just going to trip all kinds of people up, man.
Oh yeah. Big Dick Energy. That's going to be
A slam by Dick.
Yeah.
It's a Dick slam.
It's a Dick Slam.
Dick slam. Nice, Elliot.
Boy,
Dick.
Dick got dragged in the dirt that time.
Yes, Clarky. That's amazing to this day. It's amazing to this day. Yeah. Well, yeah, I saw that. I saw Ice Cube complaining about it. I mean, this is all there's me and Taskmaster, friend of the show, who's actually in the Threadcast. We talk about that on our podcast all the time. There's big controlling interests, and then there's everyone else. If anyone thinks that the NBA will ever let another league take the shine, no. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's like, do you think Facebook is going to fall in love with another social media platform? No, it's Facebook. The powers that be control the narrative, and they're the ones that are going to be pumping whatever product they want in front of people. So it doesn't surprise me that Big Three never got support.
Let me say this. CBS broadcast one of today's Big Three games.
They have for several years now.
CBS is broadcasting the games.
What game?
So
Big Three league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who does the broadcast for the NBA? Is it still NBC?
It's ESPN and ABC
Turner.
and CNC.
Yeah.
So it's not CBS.
No.
Right. So
CBS has
ESPN and Turner.
ABC
It's still a major network. It's still a major network. I don't understand what.
I know, but what are they? It's a Sunday afternoon, middle of no one cares about sports time of year.
Yep.
Like it's, they'll put the CFL on now. I mean, that's the kind of competition you have for football these days, or whatever, sports. I mean,
they'll put all kinds of stuff, dude. Yeah, TNT and NBA TV. You got it, bro.
Right.
That's all for.
Yeah. Thanks.
ABC
Brad.
and ESPN are the same thing, by the way.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
By the way, shout out to Kenny Mayne, who did his last Sports Center last night.
Okay.
Really?
Yep. Kenny Mayne has now left ESPN.
Neil Everett left too.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Kenny Mayne. I meant Neil Everett. I'm sorry, Elliot. You're right.
Neil
I
Everett.
heard ESPN let a lot of guys go.
Yeah.
There's going to be some layoffs on air talent. We don't know who they are yet.
They're getting rid
One of them's Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, they've already announced that the morning show on
Keyshawn J. Will and Max is gone.
Thank goodness.
Max, J. Will, and Keyshawn are all gone. Which I don't hear. I'm actually happy about that. I miss.
I actually started watching that show.
I miss Golick and Green as the morning show.
You're welcome. I started watching it and they canceled it.
Yeah. I miss
Rob
Green.
Minkovich is gone too. Yep. Hearing Keyshawn's going to take Shannon Sharp's place on.
That's LaShawn.
No, LaShawn McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy, not Keith. Yeah.
Not Keyshawn.
Keyshawn's going to take Shannon Sharp's place on Undisputed.
LaShawn McCoy, not Keyshawn.
Keyshawn Johnson is not going to FS1. It's LaShawn McCoy.
It's LaShawn McCoy.
I heard Keyshawn. Okay,
LaShawn
I'll take
McCoy.
your word.
No. I saw LaShawn get into it with one of his fellow pundits because they compared Josh Allen to Dak Prescott. And LaShawn lost his mind. It was pretty funny.
I saw that. He's like, don't you ever put them in the same sentence.
Yeah, don't you ever.
The thing is, the quote they gave him made it sound like they're comparing Josh to Dak. I think he meant the other way around, trying to compare
he
Dak
probably
to
did,
Josh.
but and that's the way I read it. I read it as, them saying that Dak Prescott might be better than Josh Allen.
No, he's not. No,
No, I don't think so.
But
Like
Josh,
let's do the tier. Let's do the tier.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, top of the food chain. Everyone can agree, right?
Yeah.
Like right now. I'm not saying all time. I'm saying right now. Active.
currently.
Tier 1, Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Below that, this is where it gets interesting because some people will put Josh there, others people put Joe Burrow there. I'll put Joe there. I'll put Joe ahead of Josh just because Joe has the track record of actually getting
Plus,
to
he has playoff success.
He's had playoffs. So, yes. Josh, I'd say, is 3. So I think it's top 3 would be Patrick, Joe, Josh. The rest you can discuss.
Open for discussion?
Up for discussion. But would you guys agree with that 3?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Dak
three
is
of them in the AFC.
Dak is like top 15, top 20.
Dak's a good quarterback.
Right.
He's serviceable.
So he's good. He's not like, and
He's
Clarky,
not-
I agree. I think Aaron
But
Rodgers a couple of years ago, sure, but
Yeah.
He's not a big game quarterback.
Dak makes too many mistakes in the
Yeah.
heat of the moment. He really does.
Dak actually has an excellent interception percentage. I mean, it's really low, but his problem is when he throws them, and it's
the situation in which he throws those interceptions. As far as
Right.
I mean, it's clutch time. It's when the driver is trying to win a game and he throws a pick. It's about when he throws those picks, not exactly the number of picks he throws.
When he throws them is the key. Because he throws them at the most inopportune times.
Tell me about it.
All right. As far as Brett's question, if the 49ers, I think the 49ers have the best overall defense in the NFL right now.
I think CMC is going to have another monster year. I think their running backs are, the safeties argument. Like I saw, you see all this stuff on social media with all these guys that do the tiering and this, that, and third.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Homer here, but the Bills are never mentioned. It's almost like they don't have this guy Micah Hyde and this other guy Jordan Poyer. I mean, for whatever reason. Oh, and don't forget Teron Johnson as the nickel. I mean, it's just I don't get the disrespect that the Bills, but I like it. I actually like that they're getting slapped.
John, may I?
Yes, please.
It comes down to the usual shit. Market.
Yeah.
You guys are not in a humongous market. If you guys were playing down south in New York, that'd be a different story. You know what I'm saying? If you were playing in New York City, that'd be a different story.
Yellow, welcome, Ron.
But you're playing up there in the northern part of freaking West New York.
Right, but do markets matter? Like they do. I know in the big scheme of thing, if you're in La La Land or if you're in New York, you're in Dallas, though that's the hotbeds. But like for example, the smallest market in the planet for professional sports is Green Bay, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. They don't have trouble filling the seats. They don't have trouble because of the way the NFL
that's because
is.
the fans on the team.
Their history too.
Well, not only okay, because what's the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? It's like whatever, but I mean,
I mean, the ownership is looking at Daytona Speedway to play games while they're refurbishing Jacksonville Stadium.
Hey, wait a minute, Jacksonville. Blake Bortles has 2 playoff wins. Isn't that as many as Dak Prescott has?
Why can't they play in Orlando?
Blake Bortles.
Orlando's got a nice stadium.
There are 2 stadiums in Orlando they can play in. The old Citrus Bowl and the stadium where UCF plays, which is called, I don't forget, Bright House Stadium or whatever it is.
I thought that was Citrus Bowl.
No, the Citrus Bowl is on the west side of town, whereas Bright House Stadium, where UCF plays, is on campus, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Orlando makes sense. I don't know why you would want to play a football game at Daytona International Speedway when it's so freaking huge and you can't really see anything. I mean, they're talking about playing in the infield, which means you're only going to seat people in the front stretch. Nobody's going to be in the back stretch because they can't see shit. So I don't know.
They tried that in another NASCAR track. Oh, it was a college football game, and it was a total disaster.
Was it Bristol?
Huh?
Wasn't it Bristol?
I think it was Bristol. Yeah, I think it was Bristol, and it was a total disaster.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't, like you said, you can't see anything. I mean, if you're in the middle, they're playing in the middle of the infield, and
this boy.
Hey, John, I got a question for you.
Yes, Ron, how you doing, buddy?
How how does Buffalo deal with those 3,000 fans that are leaving out in the cold with the new stadium?
John.
Dude, it's again, like I said, it's Western New York logic. Like,
how does that happen? I mean, what are they going to do?
It's stupid, dude. That whole stadium has been a disaster since the first thing they said. Oh, let's not put a roof on it. Like, that was just, you knew it was just, they were so out to lunch. They were trying to save money, nickel and dime, because they knew they had to go to the government, the state, to get money. They had to okay it with Orchard Park, and it's just a disaster, dude. It's stupidity.
Ron, just to bring you up to speed on that question I just asked, the Buffalo Bills are constructing a new stadium. Okay. They have 63,000 season ticket holders, but the new stadium only holds 60,000. What are they going to do with the other 3?
They're going to ship them off to War Memorial Stadium.
There you go. Old school. Yeah, it's.
I don't know. Sometimes the bean counters just surprise the shit out of me.
It lets beans fall through the cracks, right?
It's just redunculous, man. Like, whatever. Doesn't matter. Who cares?
And for me, what you have to do is you have to look at the history. Like, these franchises have had strong season ticket bases for years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this isn't an anomaly where they have 63,000. This has been a growing number for the last few years.
So, even more so now.
But why would they make a stadium that doesn't hold the amount of ticket holders that they already have?
Well, not just that, but I mean, so they've built a stadium that's smaller than the 63,000. Where are the visiting team?
Yeah, and you got
tickets going to sit.
It's not just season ticket holders. You're going to go about individual tickets as well.
And it's not just that, but there's going to be players that want individual game tickets for families.
That's what I mean.
So it's not just 3,000 people that are going to be X'd out.
What does the current Buffalo Stadium hold?
70. It's like 70. Yeah, I was about to call it the Ralph. Excuse me, Highmark Stadium.
No,
the Ralph. You mean right?
I mean,
Always the Ralph. Yeah.
I mean, Amalie Arena is still the Ice Palace to me. So I mean, it's the same thing. Come on, and it's Texas Stadium, not FedEx Field. I'm just saying. Come on, or AT&T Stadium. Excuse me, AT&T. No,
I got a fun story to talk about stuff
Cowboys
like that. Remind me about Ron. He'll get a kick out of the story I got.
Ron, we did bring up NHL earlier regarding how long it's going to take for Chicago to become competitive with the drafting of.
And my answer was the next time they win the President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, isn't that what? Isn't that always the answer? They're going to be competitive. They're going to be competitive the next time they're competitive.
Right. When we all said about 5 years from now when they're going to be competitive again.
You know, the thing is that Chicago did this once before when they got to pick first overall and they chose Patrick Kane. The following year, they won the Stanley Cup. So Chicago's done this before. Now, obviously, management has changed over the years. Player personnel have changed over the years. Do they have the right chemistry? Will the stars and the moon align for the Chicago Blackhawks? Probably not. But if you're looking for them to be competitive, I think that they need probably two good years of recruiting players. That's player trades, that may be free agency signings, and that's certainly they got to go all in on Connor Bedard without question. They have to take that man. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. They'll probably make the postseason next year, but yeah, they. I don't think that they'll go much farther. But then again, you don't need to be the President Cup trophy winner to make it to the Stanley Cup and do something. You just need to make it. You just need to be one of 16 teams.
If you want to win the Stanley Cup, you don't win the President's Trophy.
Well, apparently, mathematically, 3/4 of the teams that have won the President's Cup trophy in the last something like dozen years have not made it past the first round.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's what we were talking about earlier, where I mentioned that just a hypothetical scenario. If you have two teams that were battling toward the end of the season for the President's Trophy at first place, much closer race than we had this year, if you're one of those teams, do you try to tank to keep from getting the President's Trophy?
Well, we hear teams tanking all the time about getting the draft lottery.
The draft
so I don't
pick,
know.
yeah.
Maybe that is something.
Do we want to tank so we don't get the best record? That's an
Yeah.
interesting twist.
It really is. But they don't have to make it so obvious. Okay, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. They're going to rest some of their marquee players.
Right.
You can almost sell it. You can almost sell it that this is an opportunity for growth for the Black Aces, for those players that aren't necessarily going to see a lot of time on the ice during the postseason. And this is their last hurrah to get ready and get the team well rested heading into the postseason. Yeah, you lose one, you lose two, you lose three, and you don't win the President's Cup trophy. I don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, the President's Cup trophy is nothing more than a piece of hardware that really no team cares about.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care about winning their conference finals. The only piece of hardware they care about in the NHL is the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of expanding on that, who won the Calder Cup this year?
It's tomorrow. Oh, the Calder Cup. Oh, that
Calder
Calder
Cup.
Trophy?
Yeah, I have to double check
AHL.
on that one. Patrick Kane has passed his prime. Yes, he's an unrestricted free agent. Brett Murphy is just asking a question in the chat. I don't know. General managers, there's kind of a little current under the top of the water level, and that is general managers need to be smart. You don't want to be selling the farm on past their prime players that are unrestricted free agents like Patrick Kane this year. I don't think Patrick Kane's going back to Chicago. I don't know that he's staying in New York. I'm not sure if there's a team that can afford him. But at the same token, you look at some of the teams and some of the roster moves that they've made. Are they going to gamble on a Patrick Kane? I look at the Vancouver Canucks and they get rid of Ekman Larson, and maybe they've freed up a little bit of cap space that they can afford Patrick Kane for 1 year. There's talk about Milan Lucic getting offered a 1-year contract. There's a lot of players that are certainly past their prime that are unrestricted free agents. And there's a handful of young guns. Perhaps leading that pack is Aiden Hill, the goaltender from the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas would, I think, with all of their goaltending woes that they've had, even though they hoisted the Stanley Cup, I think that they need to bring Hill in and sign him to a little bit of a contract.
They have Jonathan Quick, don't they?
They do. I mean, they've got Logan Thompson, who was injured, so that's how Aiden Hill ended up getting some postseason play. Jonathan Quick, did he even play a game in the postseason? If he did,
I don't think
it was
so.
in the first round.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did either.
Yeah, no. If
Jonathan
he did,
Quick's
it was in
kind
the
of
first
getting
round.
on up there in years, isn't he?
He really is. And that's the thing. Like I said, like there's so many players that are like past their prime and are either looking at re-signing or becoming an unrestricted free agent. You look at Austin Matthews, he's not over the hill. Like that's not the comparison that I'm making here, but he's got 1 year left on his contract and he's refusing to sign anything. He wants to see what Toronto's going to do with the entry draft and the free agency signings before he makes that decision to sign on the bottom line. Austin Matthews may not be sticking around long in the Toronto Maple Leafs camp.
Bring him to Tampa Bay. Let's go.
Yeah.
the
Ryan
Hershey
O'Reilly.
Bears, Ken, are the Calder Cup winners.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's right.
The Hershey Bears.
Yeah, the Hershey Bears won the Calder
Okay.
Cup. Yes.
Against the Coachella Valley something. Like, what the heck is that?
Where did that
Well,
team
it's
come from?
California, I think.
The
Sounds
AHL,
like
we got
California.
weird names in the AHL. Come on.
They're the farm
sounds-
team for the Kraken, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like a place you're supposed to have an EDM, an electric
Yeah,
dance
pretty much,
music
yeah.
festival.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Anyways, it's. I mean, this is the last couple of days before the NHL entry draft. It starts on Wednesday this year. They've got their first day on Wednesday, the 28th, and then of course, free agency starts on Saturday, July the 1st. So this coming week is going to be chock full of player announcements. There's been a couple of small. I really don't think that they dented the headlines at all. Arizona Coyotes picked up Sean Druzy, who from the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for a second-round pick, not this year but next year. It tells you just how much. Yeah. Ryan Johansson from Nashville Predators has gone to Colorado in exchange for Alex Galchenyuk, who's quickly becoming a suitcase player. There's been a few moves by Colorado here in the last couple of weeks. Actually, they, if I'm not mistaken, they picked up Olofsson from the Dallas Stars too, Ken.
Oh, wow! I had not heard that.
Yeah, so that was earlier in the month. That was probably a week or 2 weeks ago.
Crazy.
He didn't have a lot of time playing. I think he was more or less a third or fourth line player. But he was good. I mean, we're sure we'll miss him, but
yeah. So, anyways, I mean, names that we're going to have to pay attention to. I guess the unrestricted free agency with the forwards looks like. Well, I guess the big one is actually a defenseman, Dmitry Orlov. He's expected to earn some big money, but outside of that, then you start hit and miss with some of the players. I mean, Ivan Barbashev is on that list. They think that he is, top 5 as far as free agency signings. Tyler Bertuzzi is in there as well. A couple of Toronto Maple Leaf players. I think I mentioned Ryan O'Reilly. There's also
all the Calgary Flames.
Well, nobody wants to sign in Calgary. I'm not sure if you're hearing this or not,
dude.
But
Connor McDavid destroyed that franchise last playoffs. Literally ended that franchise. It's great. I love it.
I think so. I mean,
I love it.
All that oil money and no one wants to come there.
Yeah. No, it's Calgary. I mean, it's not as bad as Arizona, but Calgary is quickly becoming that team that is in Canada.
Calgary to Quebec City. We'll make them the new Nordiques.
You mean
They call
them us the colostomy bag for Canada?
Yes.
Yeah. Tyler Toffoli is one of the latest players from the Calgary Flames. He says he's not planning on re-signing.
John's loving this.
Dude, it's just and a lot of the Oil fans on Twitter was like, guys, be careful because we might have this to deal with Connor and Leon in the next couple of years if they leave. Again, I just don't see Connor and Leon leaving. It's just they're best friends. Like I said before you got on, Ron, I said they're best friends. They know their best chances to win together. They know that they will never be able to sign the contracts that they can in Edmonton elsewhere together. So I don't see, and they actually like Edmonton. So I don't see them leaving. But Wayne Gretzky got traded, so anything's possible, right?
Well, I mean, anything's true. But that was also. I know that there was waterworks when Wayne Gretzky was traded, not just from the fans, but from the player himself. But at the end of the day, Janet Jones had a career in Los Angeles, and he made the decision that, for the last few years of his hockey career, he would play it out in an American market.
Yeah.
So
he
went to the top 2 markets, LA and New York.
Well, there's St. Louis was in there too. Don't forget
St. Louis. That's right. Yeah. Well, Janet, St. Louis is Janet's hometown.
Exactly. So there's no question. Wayne controlled the narrative on all of that, and then made himself feel like I'm being traded. But everybody knows it was for Janet Jones. Calgary Flames, the list of Calgary Flames players that have publicly stated that they do not want to sign, they do not want to stay in Calgary: Elias Lindholm, Michael Backlund, I mentioned Tyler Toffoli, and Noah Hannafin.
John loves it. He loves it.
Yeah.
Just
come to Dallas.
Get Nazem Kadri out of there, and I'll be happy because I love me some Naz, man.
Yeah,
I love Naz.
And I mean, it hasn't been stated publicly by player management or agent, but like I said, Milan Lucic is looking for a way out, and there is talk of him ending up in Vancouver. He's from the Vancouver
He's from
area.
Vancouver. Yeah. Yeah.
He said he would never play in Vancouver after 2011, after he won the Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. But I mean, time heals all wounds.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
It's crazy, man. Oh, I got a fun story.
Go ahead.
We're talking about stadiums, and Ron will get a kick out of this. So my kid is just like diehard San Jose Sharks fan. So one year, well, it was about 9 years ago, we took a trip to the Bay Area, me and my kid, and that the reason was because Edmonton was playing in San Jose, so we went down for the game, and he had to go see all of the deep history of the San Jose Sharks, and he had to go see the Cow Palace. Now, for those who don't know, that's where the San Jose Sharks first started. That was their home arena when they got into the league in like 92, 93 or whatever. Scott, they call it the Cow Palace because it's literally where they bought and sold cows.
Yes.
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 It looked, go Google it. Like, I couldn't believe it was actually a cow palace.
It even says it in the front. Cow Palace.
Yeah.
That's where that's up in the Bay Area, right?
San Francisco. It's a section of San Francisco.
Where Golden State played, right?
Yep.
The creepiest looking place I've ever seen in my life. I was like, they played hockey there? Like, yeah.
Let's see. They had let me think. They had the 1956 one of the conventions there. They've had roller derby there. They've had basketball, hockey, wrestling. They've had a little bit of rodeos, I mean, obviously. Stock shows. They've had a little bit of everything at the Cow Palace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
at
least close to 70 years old, I think, if not more.
Yeah. It was built in 41, 44.
41? Okay, yeah. Close to 80 then.
Yeah. Jeez, what a
Amazing.
place that was. Yeah.
The California Seals apparently refused to play in that building.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, they played at the Oakland Alameda
Coliseum. Yep. Where the Golden State Warriors play.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, that San Jose Sharks team. That one's a little bit of an anomaly. They've on paper they're almost always a good team.
True, Clarky.
And then that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad.
The Cow Palace hosts a lot of rodeos. So I mean,
Yeah.
If I think about the history of the San Jose Sharks, I think one of the names I remember is Nikolai Hobby-Boulin. The Boulin Wall.
Boulin Wall helped.
Really? I think of him. I think of
Wall, who was helped the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay and Edmonton. That's where I would say he's more Edmonton and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Like that's where I would put him. But it's
funny.
I
mean, he started out in San Jose, though, didn't he?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you get these guys.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hobby-Boulin is a legend here in Tampa because of what he did for the Lightning back in 2004 when they won the Cup the first time.
Yeah, they beat the Flames, and we loved you for it. Thanks, man.
You're welcome, John.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was at the Ice Palace when they won. I was outside watching it on TV because they had a great big screen outside. I was watching it, and so I was actually at the arena. I wasn't inside, but I was outside when they won the Cup. So
I believe we've heard that story about
I
4 or
think
5
so.
times.
Yeah. Good. It's like this. He wants, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, guess what they do in most cities with NHL teams? They put big TVs outside.
Yeah.
They do.
They do now. I mean, it wasn't always the case.
I can't remember the first team I saw do that, but
dude, I remember when the Blue Jays were in the
World Series
World Series in 92, 93. They used to pack Skydome on the away games.
Yes.
Yeah.
because they'd have the Jumbotron and they would play the games that was nuts.
Yeah,
That was actually more fun than because I actually went to the World Series game in 92 and 93, but I was there for the triple play. That was the Phantom triple play. I was at that game.
Did they open up Maple Leaf Gardens and watch the game on the big screen there too?
No, I don't think in the Gardens. They do in the ACC or whatever it's called now, whatever, Scotia something. But they didn't do that at the Gardens, because the Gardens display was like something from like the 20s. Like it was just this ancient,
that's right.
like,
I forgot. That's right.
Thing. They would have these two white gloved
I
hands.
forgot about that.
It was just it was just a disaster. There was no
I
video.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I remember they had that there was a documentary on, I think, NBC about the Maple Leaf Gardens, and they talked about that. I forgot about that.
What a building that was, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's a couple. I mean, obviously the Forum in Montreal.
Yep, for sure, man. Yeah.
All right,
Saint Catherine.
All right. Well, guys, it's 8:30. It's time to close up shop for this week.
Oh, wait
There
a
you
second.
go.
Before we go, did we have enough to talk about for an hour? Ron, I
Yes,
don't know
sir.
how many countless times
We've always had
Scott
time
has
for
come in.
everything.
Scott has come in. This is when we were doing the hour and a half show too. What are we going to talk about? I don't think we could fill up all that time. It hasn't been one time where we haven't.
Ever.
Okay.
When you get five guys talking about sports.
Worry war on the planet, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about the Cow Palace, Scott. I mean,
Yes.
that should tell you
Yes.
how
That's
depth
where-
in deep. You know?
One
Thinking about the Cow
conversation
Palace will be
leads-
worth getting up at 4:00 in the morning and putting on YouTube and watching
Yeah.
the replay. Yeah.
One conversation leads to another, and that's how you fill an hour to an hour and a half.
Absolutely.
Ron, does the Tour de France start
All right,
tomorrow?
Anthony.
Tour de France starts next week.
Next week. Okay.
Yes.
It's
There is-
Wimbledon starts tomorrow then.
I believe so, yes.
Wimbledon.
All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for my co-hosts, Mr. Elliot B. Gilamba, Ken Costello, John Olson, of course, and our special guest, Mr. Ron Gallo. Always glad to have you on the show, Ron.
Hell yeah.
I want to promote Ron Gallo to co-host.
Really?
And he makes things fun, so hey,
Yeah,
why not?
absolutely. Yeah, he
You'll
does.
never have trouble filling an hour show then.
And he doesn't just know hockey, folks. He knows
That's right.
hockey, yes.
Hockey.
Hacky.
Hockey.
All right.
Ice
On that
hockey.
note, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody that showed up. We had a great time tonight. We'll see you next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Elliot, hit the outro, please.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right, and his co-host, John Olson, Ken Costello, our lovable members in the Ramp Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Ramp Pack. And with that, fellas, we are